Now that we have a good idea of how to run descriptive statistics for categorical level variables, let's try it with a scale level variable. This time, we will run descriptive statistics on age. Since age is a scale level of measurement, we will be interested in identifying central tendency measures of mean, median, and mode. We will also want to identify measures of spread, such as the standard deviation. So let's try it. Again, access the Frequencies command with the Analyze menu item at the top of the window. Note that all of the windows of SPSS provide access to the same top drop-down menus. Choose Descriptive Statistics, and select Frequencies from the sub-menu just as we did with gender. Now, SPSS remembers the last variable you ran your descriptive statistics with and keeps it there. This is highly useful when we make errors or forget to include descriptive statistics measures and need to run similar commands repeatedly, as you might have noticed. So we want to remove it and replace it with our age variable. So first, select gender from the right box and click on the arrow which should be pointing to the left. Notice that we've now moved our previous variable gender back to the variables list, and now we want to select age from the variables list and move it into the right box. Click on the arrow, and now we need to click on the statistics button. Again, mode is already selected, but now we want to select median, mean, and standard deviation. In addition, let's click on minimum and maximum values since we tend to be interested in those as well for scale level variables that tend to have high variation. Now click Continue. Although we always want to make sure we have displayed frequency tables checked for our categorical variables, frequency tables don't tend to be as useful for scale levels of measurement. For instance, we would now want to know the frequency of each year of age, as this could lead to a table with an excessive number of rows that is impossible to interpret. So let's uncheck the Display Frequencies Tables box. We also need to go into Charts and change the chart type. Since we are working with a scale level of measurement, we do not want to use a bar or pie chart, but instead want a histogram, which is a pretty standard chart type for interval and ratio level variables. Click Continue, and then click OK. As you can see, our output window has been displayed once again. This time, we have one table rather than two, since we ran our statistics without a frequency table. The only table here represents our statistics, holding the measures of central tendency and dispersion on the left column of the table and their respective values on the right column of the table. Here we have 10 cases with 0 missing. We also have our mean at about 46 years old and a median of 46 years old as well. Notice that for our mode there is a note indicating that there were multiple modes, but the smallest mode was selected, in this case 26. SPSS will always choose the smallest number in the dataset as the mode, whether one exists or not. We can scroll down to our histogram, as it is also displayed with mean and standard deviation on the upper right side of the chart. Age intervals are also displayed on the x-axis with frequency count on the left column. Now that you have seen a demonstration of how to run descriptive statistics on both categorical and scale level variables, why don't you give it a try? Pause the video and run descriptive statistics on the remaining variables of residence, marital, visit, and income. Then come back. Okay, by now you should have run descriptive statistics on all the remaining variables in the intake dataset. I will do it now quickly and even show you a more efficient method of running descriptive statistics if you have not figured it out already. So let's get started. I'm going to access the frequency command from the Analyze menu. And now, instead of doing this one variable at a time, I'm going to run frequencies according to level of measurement. So first, of course, I have to get age out of there. So I'm going to run all of my nominal variables at the same time. Again, if you haven't noticed already, you can select multiple variables and run multiple statistics and frequency commands simultaneously. As you can probably tell, it's a good idea to run descriptive statistics by levels of measurement, as the descriptive statistics chosen will vary by levels of measurement. So in this case, for all my categorical variables, I'm only interested in mode. This time, instead of running a bar chart, I'm going to run a pie chart. Both are completely acceptable, as I said before, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to choose pie. Now again, since these are categorical variables I'm running, I'm interested in displaying the frequency tables for each one. Now, my output has been displayed once again and has placed all statistics for our variables in the same table. We also see that the frequency tables for all of my remaining categorical variables are also displayed. Our mode for each is 2, which says that most people reported residing in Brooklyn. We also see that for marital status the mode was 2, but we have a notation that tells us that there is more than one. Reports of being married or a widow or widower had an equal number of responses at 3. And finally, most participants reported coming in for counseling services. You will also notice that my pie charts are also displayed with color codes for each level of my categorical variables. Now that we have run descriptives on all of our remaining categorical variables, I will now run descriptives on our final variable of income. So again, I'm going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies. I'm going to move all of my previous variables back to my variable list and bring monthly income over. I'm going to go to Statistics and make sure my measures of central tendency and dispersion are appropriately selected. I'm going to push Continue. I'm not interested in getting frequency tables, so I'm going to uncheck that box. I have to change my charts back to histogram since I'm working with the scale level of measurement. I'm going to click Continue, and then I'm going to click OK. Now we have our statistics with a mean of about 3,200, a median of 3,300, and a mode of 1,600, although it is not our only mode. Standard deviation is at 1192. And we have our histogram below. If this is accurate to what you found, congratulations! You now know how to run basic descriptive statistics in SPSS, and you also know how to obtain measures of central tendency and dispersion. This concludes the SPSS training series. Note that although you may have learned a great deal of information in regards to running SPSS commands, there is much more to know about SPSS, as it is very powerful and capable of doing complex analysis. There are many resources for learning these other features online, and you can also access some additional materials from the SPSS Statistics Help menu. Thank you for viewing this tutorial, and good luck with the rest of your statistical training.